Welcome to my channel. This is Mario Lord, also known as Real Estate Guru PK. On this channel, we talk about my real estate endeavors. We also have the top real estate producers and the top entrepreneurs in the country. Be sure to click the link below with Justin P with his Support Black Colleges marketing course. Also with Jason White's Crack the Code affiliate link, click that below as well. Also to support the channel, Webull, M1 Finance, Chase, Discover, Robinhood, and Public, a stock trading app. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Real Estate Guru PK signing out. Welcome to another episode. We got a special guest.
Yes.
Yay.
Man, we got a big time real estate tycoon in
All
Houston.
right. I received that in Jesus' name. What a camera at right here?
Yeah.
All right. I received that. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
I see you networking. You at all the events.
Yes.
Your network is your your network is your network.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean I see you connecting with MG, Chris Synagogue, Be the Boss.
Yeah.
You went to David Shan's event.
Yep.
You like really trying to, get your name out there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. But before we get started, I just want to give you guys your flowers. Right? So for the millions of people who's watching and listening, we are in front of greatness right now. The greatness that's on this stage that I am bestowed upon, I am so honored and privileged to be among so much greatness. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Thank you for blessing us with your greatness.
Yes. I wouldn't do myself any justice without calling out a couple of names, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I'm looking right into the camera right now at a gorgeous, wonderful young lady. That's right, my lovely wife, Joanne Beraud. Joanne, thank you so much for what you do for the brand, for the business. I love you. I cherish you. Thank you for being one half of Yes to Real Estate. And then my kids.
Okay.
You got to love the kids, right? My son, Chase, who's 6, my daughter, who's 3. And let me tell you real quick what my son told me one day. I remember we was outside playing and we was looking at each other and just spending quality time with him. And he looked at me right into my eyes. He said, "Dad, I'm so glad to be in Yes to Real Estate." He's 6 years old, right? I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I cried like a baby, right? Because it lets me know that all the hard work and the dedication that we putting in for the business, he's getting it at a young age. So Chase, Scholar, thank you so much for what you do. And then the team, the market team, Brittany, Gerald, thank you guys for promoting the brand and the business. Diamond and Ashley, they one half of Yes to Real Estate. They helped me with the flips, the fix and flips. They helped me with the new construction. They are my GCs. Ladies, GCs who's tearing it up. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Aw, that was sweet.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, what is Yes to Real Estate?
I love it. See, I knew you was going to ask some great questions. So Yes to Real Estate. What is Yes to Real Estate? So my previous job, I was in the oil and gas field. And so I remember every time I got on the phone, not the phone, but the radio, I always say yes. Hey, Andre, can you do this? Yes. Andre, can you do this? Yes. Right? And so one of my friends said, hey, look, you get into real estate, you have to have your own image. Like, who is Andre Beraud? What do you stand for? I'm like, well, you know what? I always say yes at work, right? And I love real estate, and I want to do every aspect of real estate. So he said, what about Yes to Real Estate? I said, you know what? I think we got something here, right? And let me tell you, at the time before Yes to Real Estate was formed, I wasn't flipping. I wasn't doing new construction. I wasn't rehabbing. I wasn't doing rentals. I wasn't buying whole. It was nothing. It was started off with the name itself. That's why I tell people you have to be careful of what you call to. So we called to Yes to Real Estate. And because we had that name, everything else came from the name. After we named ourselves Yes to Real Estate, everything else began to fall in line. And that's how we formed Yes to Real Estate.
Wow.
Yeah. It's deep, huh?
That's deep.
Yeah. yes.
Okay.
So, how'd you get started in like your whole real estate career?
Yes. So it started, a real quick story. Before I even became a real estate agent, I worked for HL&P. That's a light company where you turn people lights on and off, right? I was young. I was promoted. I was 100% W-2. Now, there's nothing wrong with W-2 because you need W-2 in order to build your business. But I was 100% W-2. I moved up in the company and I was turning people lights on and off. Well, as I got promoted, I went to this one house and it was a lady outside stealing power.
How does one steal power?
Yeah. So it's a way to where you can flip the light meter itself. Now, this is the old days before it became OMR meter.
Okay.
But you can flip that light meter, put it back in, and it going the opposite way. Right? Yeah, for my old school people. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And so she was stealing power. I called the cops.
You called the cops?
I sure did. I called the cops on her. The cops came and he got my license, got her license, and I remember looking at her with my chest stick out. Like, you getting ready to go to jail. You know who I am? I'm Andre Beraud, HL&P, best employee, right? Man, the cops came back and looked me straight in my eyes and say, you going to jail. I looked behind me. I did the same thing. I looked behind me. I said, who? He says, you have a warrant out for your arrest.
Oh my God.
So I didn't go. I had a driver with no insurance. It turned to a warrant and I went to jail. I went to jail with the company car parked right there. And I remember her getting in the car. I'm getting in the car. We both are handcuffed. She looked at me and I looked at her. She said, see, if you never allowed pride to get in your way and just told me about it, you would never be in here with me. And I remember looking at her with my head down. And we went to jail. I'm in there, took off my whole W-2 uniform. And I remember getting out the next day. The company called me and said, Andre, we need you to come down. You guys know that talk.
Yeah.
We need for you to come down and so we could talk with you. Leave everything else at the house, right? I came down, they said, hey, look, you fired. Now, remember this. I didn't give years to this job. I moved up, and this was my first mistake. They fired me, and I remember leaving out the place, and I began to run and cry down the median to catch the bus. I'm running, crying, and sweating, not in that order, right? And all I could think about was, Andre, you are stupid. Andre, you didn't mess up everything. You didn't lost everything, right? So I remember going back home, and I didn't pay my rent, okay? For the millions of people, I didn't pay my rent. You know what happens when you didn't pay your rent, right? So I heard a knock on the door, right? It wasn't UPS or FedEx, right? It was the maintenance guy, right? And I remember dashing towards the tub as if a hurricane was coming. I went into the tub, fetal position, closed the curtains behind me, and I remember the maintenance guy coming in, and I can hear him. And he looked in the restroom, opened up the shower curtain. I'm looking at him. He looking at me, and he told me to get out.
Damn.
Now, I love telling that story because everybody asks me, how did I come about with yes to real estate and real estate? And I remember him telling me to get out, and I had to go back home with mom. Now, we all know, for the millions of people who's watching and listening, when you go back home and stay with mom, she gonna let you hear it. I went back home, and I remember that was one of the most depressing moments ever, to go back home and lose everything and start over. So,
how old were you at this time?
man, I was in maybe about 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 22. And I remember Walmart open in the neighborhood. I was over there off of Beach and Club Creek. Yeah, y'all know about that. No Beach.
I'm not from here.
Okay. Yeah, it's an up and coming area. Okay. All right. And I remember working in the frozen department on aisle 7 with a coat on, stacking groceries. At that moment, I'm like, this is it. Like, I didn't reach rock bottom. I don't even know what to do with my life. But at that moment, I told myself that if I ever come out of this situation, I would never allow a W-2 job to dictate and control how much I make or if I make money or provide for my family.
Period.
Right? And so after that, I rebound, went back to college, started working in the oil and gas field, making 6 figures. So making 6 figures, all I can think about was me in that fetal position, being fired, getting kicked out. So every move from that moment, I'm reminding myself of the fetal position. So every decision I'm making, fetal position. Every promotion, fetal. Every house that I buy, every new construction, everything that I have done since that time is my motivation to never go back into that feeder position. So that was my reason for tapping into real estate.
So looking back, do you think those things happened for a reason?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Could I have avoided that? Yes. But if I would have avoided, would you have the Andre you have today? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That feeder position is what made me who I am today. That passion, that desire, that hunger, that tenacity to have millions into the account and work as if I'm still in that feeder position.
So what would you say to people who might be in their fetal position?
Yeah. I would say embrace it. Embrace it. Use it as an opportunity to see what can you do and change so you can come out of it, but also to make sure you never go back to it. Every feeder position has a message in it. My. Every feeder position has a message, and my message was to share with the millions of people there's hope. Right? No matter how much funds, how many opportunities we have, I always end with hope. That your challenges is predicated on coming out of it and how you handle when you come out. So I could have came out of that feeder position blaming people, blaming my mom, blaming my dad, blaming my community. Instead of saying, Andre, you made that choice and that decision. What are you going to do to make sure you don't relapse and go back into it? Every feeder position has an opportunity to create something magical.
Wow.
Yes.
So the people that are in that fetal position right now, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, so for you who's in that position of just getting fired, or you're looking for that promotion and you've been passed over time and time after again. You didn't went back to college and got that MD, right? You didn't went back to college and got 2 more years of college education. You didn't went and got those CE classes for this position, and they keep looking over you. My message to you is it's time for you to look over them. Right? You're looking at promotion on your job. The Lord has put on your heart to promote out of the company. Go start your own. Use this as an opportunity to have that intellectual property and start your own destination, because someone is waiting on you to start your own so they can get what you have. So many times we're looking for the W-2 job to do something for us, when it only supposed to be a stepping stone and an opportunity to use them as they use you to help you promote yourself to the next level. I love the W-2 job as long as you have an agreement of they using you just like you're using them. You know?
What's your biggest amount of money you made during real estate?
Oh, at one time?
At one time.
On one deal?
One deal.
$100,000.
That was a flip or
no, it was a new construction.
New construction?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, new construction. New construction, $100,000, flip, $75,000.
That was on one house, but
just one house.
Just one house? Okay.
Actually, it was that Charmant's house in Fifth Ward.
Oh, for real?
Yep, we built it last year.
Okay.
And we sold the first one for $270,000. Sold the second one for $300,000. Sold the third one for $335,000, and the fourth one for $340,000.
So it's like back to back to back. You just
all within
cashing
6
out.
months.
Okay.
And what's great about it is having provision, right? You sometimes you get your largest opportunity funds when you have provision of what's about to happen. So Chris Senegal was right down the street from him. And I seen what he was building. So I'm like, look, I don't want to build it at large. I want to build it without a garage. And we bought the lot for $80,000. Right? Replatted it, made it into 4 homes, and man, it's $150,000 profit on each home. Each home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many rental properties you got?
So right now, my wife and I have 15 doors.
15 doors?
And we building 25 more doors.
Ooh,
yeah.
Where at?
So we building the tiny home subdivision. Shout out to Fifth Ward. We building 9 of those. My partners are we doing 4. We're doing 3 duplexes in Acres Home. All right, and we're doing another 10 townhomes in Fifth Ward.
Okay.
So 4 in one lot, and another 4 in a lot, and another 2. So about 25 doors.
Why don't you like just hoard all the houses? Like, nah, these are all mine. I ain't sharing this with nobody else. Like, why aren't you on that? Why aren't you on that tip?
No, that's a great question, because the one thing about leveraging your partnerships and working with people, you can accomplish much more, and you can meet great people as yourself. The reason why I'm in this room with you is because we are in the same circle, and we're in the same circles because you and I have the same mindset. Is that we can do much more if we come together as a team and operate in our strength and weakness, right? And that's what happens. So if I have a partner who have money and don't know how to build, if I have the intellectual property on how to build and the team to build, he will put up the money, I will bring the team, and we'll be 50-50. It's a win-win. So if I was to do it on my own, you're looking at leveraging time, energy, and finances of $400,000, right? So now all I'm doing is leveraging my time and energy and connection, and he put on his $400,000. I'm putting in the team and the effort and making 50 instead of 100. But I have no money coming out of pocket, right? So now you think about you doing that on 4 townhomes, and you begin to partner with people who operate in transparency, integrity, and honesty, and you continue to go throughout, and you begin to expand. And guess what happens when you expand? Your brand and your name. You and I said the same thing. You're like, hey, man, I love what you're doing. I've been watching you. Well, why is that? It's because you and I have been going throughout the city offering value, leverage our time and energy and partnership to expand our brand and visibility. So I'd rather have 50,000 than $0, you know? So, and that's the way we've been moving, and it's been working. It really only works if you work with people who operate in transparency, integrity, and honesty. Those are the 3 things that I look for in my partnerships.
How important is that to you? Like, you speak on honesty and integrity. How important is that to you?
It's 100. If you do not operate in those things, I won't do business with you. I don't care how much millions you bring to the table, right? Because if you don't operate in honesty, integrity, and transparency, I'm your next victim. So I'm gonna be your next victim, right?
So if you heard somebody was like had a reputation of like scamming, would you do business with them?
No.
Okay.
Right? Because I understand you have haters, right? You have haters. People want to hate. But the question is, would people hate and say that you took something from them? Like you stole money from them? But if you start hearing multiple people say it, it has to be some truth to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I can tell you, everybody do not like Yes to Real Estate. I'm just saying, I know you love me, right? But some people do hate on Yes to Real Estate because we have grown a lot. I'm honest, but no one can ever say that I took anybody money. I wasn't honest and transparent with them. And those are the principles we live on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think in social media and the internet in general, they kind of portray like toxic relationships. They don't really promote marriage or healthy relationships. And I know you started off the podcast, giving a shout out to your wife. So at what point did you meet your wife, and what value did she bring to you to help you build Yes to Real Estate?
You know what? No one ever asked me that question. All the podcasts I have done, no one asked me about my relationship with my wife. Even though I start off with the podcast, every podcast I do, I start off the same. And you were the first one who asked me that.
Because that stood out to me the most so far.
Yeah.
Because, just the fact that you gave her flowers, she must be a big part of the team.
I love this. Great cover. So my wife and I both grew up in Fifth Ward. We both grew up in the hood. We used to go to the same corner store to get chips when it was 25 cents. We both washed our clothes on our hands, right? We grew up Provish, right? And I remember as her and I know each other, I had a crush on her ever since elementary school. She didn't give her brother no play, right? But brother started making a little money. You know what I'm saying? Joe, I ain't saying you with me for the money, but hey, come on now, right?
Love it up.
But no. I remember getting payday loans as we was together, cars breaking down, trying to figure it out. And she never doubted me as a man, right? She never judged me based on a circumstance and a situation we was going through. she knew it was an isolated thing and never said, well, you need a man up. She never got mad at me for things not going according to plan at that time. And I remember having a conversation with her. I said, Joe, do you believe that we can be where we want to be? She said, Andre, as long as I'm with you, I have no doubt. And you like that, huh? And that gave me all the motivation that I needed. So, and I made a commitment to her. I said, hey, look, we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep growing. And whatever you want, you're going to have it. I remember this one time we were standing in Greens Point. And we were standing in an apartment, but we was buying properties. So think about it. We stand in an apartment complex, making 6 figures, and we up here buying rental properties and not even moving into them. And she was upset with me. I said, baby, look, trust me, we buy these homes if something happened to me at my job, because remember, every decision I'm making is based on my feeder position, right? So even though we had these rentals, even though I was making 6 figures, I say, if I lose my job, how are we going to provide, right? So we buying these rental properties. She was mad, but she said, I trust you. And I told her that moment that everything that you want, you're going to have. It's going to come to fruition. And she's been supportive. She's been on the clubhouse, coming out to the meetings, speaking. She liked to stay in the background, right? But at home, she's my biggest cheerleader. And it's nothing more exciting than when you go out into the world, you don't close a deal, you're mad, you losing deals, you come on and cry, and do you ever be vulnerable with your significant other? I cry many nights on my wife's shoulder. I cry many times in front of her. And she never judged me based on crying. She always encouraged me based on the future. And I told myself that wherever I go, whoever I speak to, and that's the millions of people who's watching and listening now, I was going to give her flowers before I even start a conversation. So.
I like that because, I feel like sometimes when a man comes up on money, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm going to leave the girl that was with me and then get the girl that's, that I guess the dream girl. But I really do admire that. And it does show integrity and honesty, which is what you speak about. So I applaud that.
Yes. I love that. And then my kids, I grew up without a father. And I told myself, how can I make sure that I continue to grow in business but not leave my kids behind? Because you know how you grind mode, and sometimes something has to be left behind. And I make sure that if I'm in grind mode, the kids are coming with me. We're doing a field trip. We're doing Chase, Scholar. They're coming with me. They're going to learn and grow. And to see my son now at 6 have a conversation with me about real estate and how much he loves dad, and he hugs me and kisses me and tells me he's proud of me, it's because I brought them along the journey. It's not like I focus on real estate and left them behind, So it's important. Family is crucial for me.
Yeah, and that's another thing because, most successful men will say, I got to go get the money. Yeah. I got to go do this. I don't have time for the kids or the family. So that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
And that's another reason why we kind of waited before we had kids, because I knew I was going to be grinding with my W-2, working night shift, working day shift. So we kind of waited until we was transitioning away from me working all the time and focus on real estate. And it helps. So for the people who's looking to have kids and you want to do it for the kids, make sure you plan on having kids. Because when you have kids, you have to delegate that time with them. And my full focus is on my kids. I keep everything I do, I wrap it around them. That's why we moved the schedule up to 2. Because I'm like, I got to go pick them up at 4 from school. After school, I want them to be the first person that I see. I pick them up, my daughter, hug them, kiss them, and give them all the time they need from 4 to we do their homework and they go to sleep.
Oh, wow. So so Monday through Friday, you
every
pick them
day
up?
I pick them up. We take them to school, my wife and I, we hit the gym from 9:30 to around 3:30. It's all real estate, but at 4, it's all kids. I pick them up. I spend the rest of the day with them. Everything shuts down.
And your business allowed you to have that freedom to do so.
Yes, it does. I have a great team. The ladies who GC and oversee that are a great team to allow me to do that. But remember, the whole feeder position is what prepared me for now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say people try to avoid a feeder position and say, I want success now. But what happens when you get success?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not prepped for it?
You lose it.
You lose it. You lose your family, your kids, and you lose everything. Everything you say you want to work hard for, and the reason why, you lose it all. Preparation.
I asked all my guests this. Would you be mad if your kids didn't want to be an entrepreneur? They just wanted like a 9-to-5.
Oh, that is a great question. So, I won't be mad, right? But I'm praying that as they are, Chase been around me for so many years, that it's in him. It's not forcing him. It's in him because he's always around me. I don't think he would do well having a W-2 job just because of the freedom and the way he thinks and the way he moves now. It's in him to be an entrepreneur. But would I be mad? Yeah.
You would? I would too.
I'd be highly upset because
you work so hard.
I work so hard for this, and then set him up mentally to own. Like that's all he knows. Like when we go out to events, we went out to Disney on Ice. Everywhere we go, we doing first class, right? So we went to Disney. We were right there in the front row. They don't know anything else. But also he knows that when it's time to do real estate, he waking up with me 8 o'clock in the morning to go do a field trip. 8 to 10 in the morning.
At 6 years old?
6.
Okay, wow.
Right? So he understand the privilege, but he also understand the hard work behind it too, right? So teaching them both sides is important, and ownership does that, you know? So.
What if he like took over the company and then like, so you pass away, he decided to sell all your properties. Would you be mad?
So we have a trust.
Oh, okay.
So we have a trust in line that states that hey, you ain't selling all this, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is gonna be passed down to where you don't have no control. Right? Some of this is gonna be passed down to the next generation to where everybody with the last name Beraud is gonna eat off of it.
So he's gonna just be collecting rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything in provisions like if he gets married, like some of the guests?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, you got to.
That's a good one. So if he was to get a divorce,
correct,
she won't come in and hinder that.
Correct.
That's a good one.
Correct.
That's a good one. We need to add that.
You gotta get on it.
Yeah. We need to add that because it is important with the legacy. You know, so because there's some stuff I want him to keep, him and my daughter to keep, and not sell just because of the equity play and what it meant for my wife and I. Yeah.
Cause that'd be crushing, like especially for me if he gets married and then divorce and then half of that split to her. Like what she do? Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She didn't help build that.
No, she didn't. She did not. Another thing I like to share with the guests, if you don't mind, is I want to encourage them about the dark season. You know, when you're winning, like you guys are, everybody is celebrating you, patting you on your back, and saying you're doing a great job, and it's like, hey, can I be on your show? Everybody's celebrating you, but who's celebrating you in dark season? You know, the Bible talks about that what's done in the dark shall come to light, right? And many of us take that dark season as a negative opportunity, but actually, the dark season is nothing but preparation. Think about it. Before anybody knew who you were, you was grinding. You staying up to 12 at night, 1 in the morning, working on your stuff, trying to understand how to get this better, understand the system, bringing in the team letting you down. The dark season, the season of you going to sleep crying because that deal you was waiting on that was going to set you apart crashed. The dark season. That when you was waiting on that promotion, it didn't come to you. That dark season, that deal that they said they was going to give to you, but didn't give to you and gave it to someone else. And they told you that you wasn't qualified. That's why you didn't get it. The dark season. What do you do in your dark season? Your dark season must be celebrated because your dark season is what's going to set you up for your sunshine season. You know, when light comes, everybody can see you. But who sees you in the dark season? But one thing I have learned is that if you don't celebrate your dark season and prep in your dark season. When it's your time to shine, you will fall and crumble because you didn't study in the dark season. And I just want to encourage the listeners and the people who's watching, the millions of people, celebrate your dark season. Celebrate studying and getting better at your craft, because when the camera is on and the cameraman is working the ones and twos, what do you have to say?
Do you feel some type of way that like other people, like other races are coming to Fifth Ward and buying up the properties, or you not tripping on this?
No, I'm not, because at the end of the day, it was ours once before and we lost it. So who do we blame after losing the property, right? My mom and myself, we grew up in Fifth Ward as renters. My mom rented a place for 20 years. 20 years, right? I went to school in Fifth Ward. The same teacher who told me I wasn't going to be anything, I can see the school from the townhome that we built, right? So I believe that the people who's coming in is coming in because they see opportunity. But we had the opportunity first. The one thing that we didn't have is the intellectual property, maybe. But the properties that are still there that's owned by us, what are we doing with them? So I think we have to take some accountability for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Chris Senegal talked about like Black Wall Street was in Houston and like all that was owned by black people.
Yeah, on Lowndes Avenue. Yeah.
And then when they added the freeway, then it was like over with. Yeah. Like all the grocery stores went, and he literally went through the whole tour, like showing like everybody that all his mentees.
Yep.
How many mentees you got?
So we have a new construction coaching program. We have 10. And then we have a fix and flip program. We have 10 there as well.
Okay.
But for the millions of people who's watching and listening, those are our mentees as well.
How much you charging?
So for our fix and flip, I'm glad you asked. Today's prices are not tomorrow's prices. Yesterday's prices are not today's prices. So when we started the new construction program, I was charging them $5,000.
Okay.
You get one-on-ones with coming to a new construction site. You get our connection to our framers, our electricians, all of that. And the same thing for the fix and flip. Now we have on the YesToRealEstateCourses.com, we have 3 phases. We have the self-guided, which is $5K. We have the $8,000 to where you get to talk with me once a week. And then we have the $20,000 course to where I walk you through your very own fix and flip course, or I walk you through your very own new construction. Give you the electrician, give you the plumbers, and all of that.
The permits?
Yep. Help you with all of that. Okay. From the soft cost stage all the way to the hard cost stage, to where you have a finished product to sell.
Okay.
Yeah. You have the intellectual property. And I think in this business sometimes, if you don't know your own value, you begin to sell yourself cheap. I used to do all this for free. When I first came to this game, I would give it for free. And I started charging because my team said I had to. But I said something to my team. I said, I don't think anybody would pay to hear what I have to say. How many of us have told ourselves that we are not worthy and almost spoke yourself out of your own blessing? So that's why it's important to have a great team to get you back in line.
Why you felt the need to start charging?
Because time and energy. One thing I have realized, what charging does is people who pay attention. So I realized that people kept coming back to the well because it was free. Right? They're like, hey, I come back to this well. He giving free game, good game. Let me keep bringing my bucket, bringing it down, get my water. Yeah, and go. But when I set a price tag to my time and my value, it only brought people who were serious. Because people will waste your time because they don't even value their own time.
Exactly.
So when you put a price to it, then you know who's real and who's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next? Like, where you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Man, next 5 years, man, I want to continue to help as many people possible do new construction, do flips, rehabs, rentals, and then I want to continue to share the message of hope and opportunity. What's different about me from other investors is people sometimes call me pastor real estate because of my delivery of message, and I just want to continue to encourage people mentally, because sometimes in this journey of real estate, no one is speaking to our minds and only just to our wallets. But even when you get the money, you still have to be right mentally to prepare you for what's about to happen with the overflow. And if you're not mentally prepared for the journey, you can lose it all. Yeah. So I want to continue to do that as well. And I want to build a subdivision and name it after my kids and loved ones of my family. Like Joanne's Way, Chase Avenue, Scholar Lane, Yes, a Real Estate Lane, you know? Because when you own it, you can do that.
Yeah.
So the tiny home subdivision, which is we took a 15,000 square foot lot and we put 9 tiny homes on there. Each home is 960 square feet. And when you do your plaque, it says, okay, what name do you want to use? What's the name of your subdivision? I said, Yes Way. Yes Square. After the company of Yes Real Estate. When you own it, you can name it. And I want to just encourage and teach more people about ownership, to own it. I don't care if it's a lot, a one house, own it, it's yours.
Have you did any wholesale deals?
I have not. I have a partner who's great at finding deals, and we tend to keep all of our deals.
You don't seem like you do wholesale deals.
Yeah.
Like waste your time.
Yeah. Yeah. So when she find deals, we rehab them, or if not, we put on an MLS and sell them.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing on a small scale.
No, it's because I'm a licensed agent, and it's kind of tricky with the wholesale and the whole integrity and transparency and the contract. So I tend to stay out of that and just use the TREC contract and put on the MLS.
Okay, I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I might do, a double closing, but I tend to stay away from that.
Okay.
Just because people would get mad and report you to TREC and then your license
suspended.
Yeah. So
what's like the worst thing that happened to you in real estate?
Man, the worst thing that happened to me was a particular person used my name, likeness, and image to promote their business. So I hired them on to be a part of Yes Real Estate. I gave them opportunity to grow and learn and develop. And what they did was they began to use our name to put it on what they was doing, and pretty much said that this was from Yes to Real Estate, but they had a name on there. So they took our coaching program, took Yes to Real Estate off of it, put their name on it, and now went to other agents to try to sell it.
How did you handle that?
I fired them. Right? Because remember, transparency, integrity, and honesty. I would have never known until someone else from another team told me about it. And I think in this business, all the heavy hitters know each other, right? That's how I know you, because you're a heavy hitter. For the millions of people, this guy is right here, a heavy hitter. And so it came back to me what he was doing, and I confronted him. He started stuttering, and I said, that's it. I brought my team on. We had a team meeting, and I confronted him in front of the team, and it was gone. Because if you cross me once, you will do it again. You're just going to try to find a creative way of not to get caught. So, yeah.
Can anybody hire you?
To
like work for them?
Like a W-2 job?
Like not like work under them. Like say like Grant Cardone was like, hey, I need you on my team.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd be an understudy to him.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I know. Heavy hitters, yeah, I would be an understudy, go and learn and grow. Absolutely.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was just gonna be like, nah, I'm not hireable.
Yeah. No, I want to go and learn from
partnerships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Besides Fifth Ward, are you looking in any other like cities or anything else, like any other side of town?
Yeah. So Acres Home, South Park, Sunnyside, and that's pretty much it. The up and coming areas.
Okay.
Where the tax rates are low, no HOA, so you can kind of do what you want to do in line with the city.
So like somebody starting off right now, what side of town do you recommend them to buy it, and what would be like a good price like that needed like rehab work?
That's a good. Someone who's starting off brand new?
Brand new.
I would say partnership first.
Okay.
So partnership first, get with someone and do a 50-50 partner. In that agreement of the partnership, you want to make sure you disclose that, hey, I'm partnering with you because I'm bringing a deal. I want you to bring the money. I want you to bring your experience and your connections, and we're 50-50. But in this partnership, make sure you let them know, I want to get the intellectual property and I want to get your connections. Because remember, in every partnership, it has to be a win-win on both ends. So the person who's learning is bringing the deal. The person who knows it all is bringing the money. But this person who's bringing the deal needs to learn how to do it so he can fire him. Okay. I tell people I'm in the business of getting fired. So partnership, get you a mentor, make sure you have that understanding, and put it on the contract so no one can say, well, no, I don't remember that. So after your partnership and you have your connections, then start off with, for me, I would love to start off with a cosmetic job. No foundation, no structure issues. You just, the kitchen, the restroom, the floors, adding some value, and then boom, put it on the market.
Okay.
And then gradually go to a higher level once you have your team in play. Because when you start dealing with foundation, guess what happened? You shift the foundation. Now you got to do sheetrock, tape and float, texture work. Now you got to do 2x4, 2x6 work. Now your roof's then shift, shingles. So you see how the foundation can really mess up a whole thing. You got to be ready for that with a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got any more questions? Okay, I'm gonna ask you like an either or question.
Yeah.
1 second.
This is good, guys. After you ask me this, I want to say one more thing after you ask.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Not a problem. Flips or rentals?
Oh, I can't. Either or?
You can do either or. You can say both if you want.
Okay.
So you can say both?
I'm going to say both.
Okay.
Because both serve its purpose, right? Because we have rentals and the depreciation, the whole tax rule, the rentals work. The flips, you get your money back quick, but then if you don't 1031 exchange,
you pay the tax.
Yeah.
Wholesaling or rentals?
Golly, Amar. Oh, man, you're asking some tough questions. Can I say both again?
You say both.
I said both because wholesale is what leads you to that large chunk of change to where you can go and use that to buy more properties. Rentals is that cash flow, that mailbox money every month. Both.
Rental property or Airbnb?
Rental properties.
Rental property.
See, I ain't say both on that one.
Okay. Stocks or crypto?
Depends on when you got in with the crypto.
You choose either. It don't matter.
I'm gonna go with crypto.
Crypto?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 million followers or rental property?
Oh, rental property.
Rental property all day? Okay.
Oh, can I take that back?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if you have 2 million followers, you can monetize that, huh?
Leverage it,
yeah. I see where you're going with that. I'm gonna say both.
Both? Okay. Money or equity?
Equity.
Equity. Sleeping for suckers or earn your leisure?
Sleeping for suckers.
Okay. Tour or Airbnb?
Turo or Airbnb?
Yeah.
To own?
Yes.
Turo.
Turo. Okay. Business account or regular account?
Business account.
850 credit score or $1 million?
Oh, golly. Because an 850 account, you can flip that into getting business credit if you don't want to, if you're along with the personal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Give me the credit.
Credit?
Give me the credit.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. You know what? No, give me the 1 million.
1 million?
1 million. I had bad credit before. I never had money. Give me the 1 million.
Okay.
I can flip that 1 million quick.
Okay.
Give me the 1 million.
So what you was about to say?
So I wanted to say this too, because the millions of people who's watching and listening now, sometimes we want to have everything ready to go. I remember the wife and I and the kids was taking pictures, right? Brother had on his tux. I had on my little nice bow tie. It wasn't a real one. It's the one that you put around your neck and, just snap it in. Had on my cufflinks, my shoes. looking sharp. And so the picture guy was like, okay, guys, come together, right? We close. He said, okay, and cheese, right? So the wife and I are smiling. He says, hold it. And all I can hear was him clicking the camera. And he said, hold it. We're almost there. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we almost there. And I'm hearing him click, taking pictures. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, we almost there. Hold it. I'm looking, I'm like, how much longer can we hold this, right? And I remember him clicking this thing 10 times. And he said, okay, and click. We're done. And I began to think to myself, I said, hey, you didn't told us to hold it, and you've been clicking this camera for a good 10 times. I'm like, and then all of a sudden you said, we good, and click, we got it. He said, well, Dre, what I had to do was I had to get everything right. You see, the plant behind you wasn't at its greenest moment, so I had to make sure that was right. The back coloring wasn't right, so I had to make sure that was right. So I'm checking everything behind you. Andre, all you was focused on was before you. So you was just thinking like, when you're going to end, I'm thinking on making sure everything was right. So many times in our career and our opportunities, we are not willing to go through those 10 click moments to get to that perfect moment. We tend to want to give it 2 clicks. If that's not good, and we're done. I want to encourage the millions of people who's watching now to go through your 10 clicks. Go through those opportunities where it seems like nothing is breaking through for you, and it seems like all hell is breaking loose, and you're about to give up. But you're only 6 clicks away. You're on click number 4. I want to encourage you to go to your 10th click and endure that process. Endure the hurt and pain. Cry, wipe your tears away, brush your hair, fix your makeup, and look back in the mirror and smile again, because you are only 6 clicks away. And that was a testament for me, because so many times we want to get to it now. We don't want to wait. We want the success now, and when we get it, we are regretting of not going through the 6 clicks. So I want to encourage you, the millions of people watching and listening, go through your moment, go through your clicks to where you get to that perfect picture. So when that success comes, you know exactly what to do with it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.